Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Olivia. And I'm coming today to talk to you about Ms. Anne Lushchinskaya. And what she is she is a Russian woman who went on the train of model minorities, known for high test scores, being quiet, reliable, and hardworking. And she went on the train and started beating people with her umbrella, kicking, screaming, and acting really crazy. And the reaction from some Caucasian Americans was, well, what did they do to her? And what did they do to her? And no one did anything to her. And prior to doing this, the day before, she had keyed someone, taken her keys, and chunked somebody with her keys. And prior to that, in June, she went into the train station and pepper sprayed people. And obviously a very, very sick woman. And I'm coming to you because every time I think about her, and what she did, I get really, really upset. As well as I get upset about how mentally ill people, indigents, people who walked off the street, are being coined racist, white supremacist. And some of them don't have a job or homeless. Like, we witnessed a man in San Francisco dump another man's belongings into the river, when evidently both men were homeless. So there was a lot of psychosis dealing with. This is not a racist incident against a person of color. This is a mentally ill person doing what mentally ill people do, acting mentally ill. Now, for some reason, the media, certain people want to argue that she is an attorney, and she does have a law license. However, the article that I wrote said that she's inactive as a lawyer. And then they say, well, it says that she makes $100,000 a year. She makes $100,000 a year. She would not be able to get a public defender when she pepper sprayed somebody in June who got her off on nothing, where she didn't have to pay anything, and where she got her off on now I'm losing my memory, whether they got her off on $1,000 bond for walking on a train, beating a young woman, kicking her, spitting on as many people as she could, knocking the earphones off of a man, and then walking into court and getting off and going to walk back on the street to act crazy. And she does live in public housing, and that's a fact. So I seriously question, what she's doing as an attorney. They say, well, she has an office. Well, she is this and she's that. No, she's a crazy woman that lives in public housing who was or happens to have a law degree. So that's what she is. But let me go about, I've already mentioned her history, but let me mention it again. She has a history of attacking people of color. In June, she attacked 2 Hispanics for no reason. She just pepper sprayed them. And she was charged with that. She was let go on her own steam. No bail had to be paid, but she failed to appear, and there was a warrant out for her. And I guess she finally got around to getting there, and they let her out again. So she had a court date on the day she attacked the young Asian woman, which, I don't know what happened to that, because she was busy, being put in jail for attacking people early in the morning, and she had attacked someone the day before. So, I don't know what's going on, and people want to call her a racist, but personally, to me, she's not a racist. What they're doing is legitimizing the actions of a mentally ill person by calling her racist and putting in the mainstream that walking on a train, beating people is something racist people do, or bigots. But no, any bigot knows if they walk on a train and start beating somebody for no reason, their life is gone. They're going to jail. If they have a job, they're going to lose their job, and their life is gone. And so we cannot confuse being a bigot with just being plain out crazy. And Anna, my dear, Anna Lushchinskaya is just plain out crazy. And I wanted to examine some other concepts regarding what she did. Sometimes, my race, Black people, are known for people who you can't hit. If you're going to hit them, they're going to hit you back. But I want to explore how there's something called the third generation theory. And I want to explore, and that theory basically states that you may have immigrants and they are model minorities, the first generation, but by the third generation, they are right where Black people are, if they are people of color. If they are white, they meld into they're white. They become white. They don't become Russian. They become white. So this was a live illustration of that, because what happened was they went and interviewed the young Asian girl who was beat, who barely, fought back. And she said, if it had been somebody else, they would not have fought back. I fought back. No, baby, you barely fought back. But we do know now why, let's call her the Black Kim. Why Kim, who's Black, now why she has a triggered response when somebody hits her or talks to her in the wrong way. Because we looked at how Miss Ann, beat and beat and beat that woman. And society, European society, Western society is like, oh, it's okay. Oh, she's a bigot. No, that's not a bigot. That's crazy. So I want to explore that. And second of all, I wanted to go ahead and revisit the young 9-year-old in Alabama who committed suicide, who I talked about earlier. Last night, they were talking about how the most successful people wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to start their day. And I was trying to research an article that I read a while back that states that young kids that wake up early in the morning are gifted. So I was going to say, well, there's a correlation between the two. But what I found when I was researching this was an article out of the Charlotte newspaper. And it was discussing a study that had been done in North Carolina that said that low income, and they didn't do it by race. They have a lot of, people of various income levels in North Carolina, and it could have been white, Black, yellow, green, or whatever. But low income children were not getting their instruction. If they were gifted, and they did not they're most likely not to get their gifted instruction. For example, they had a statistic that there were a certain amount of slots allotted for gifted instruction, and they had 248 higher income students who had scored average on a test score. And I will put the link in the box, who had scored average on a test score, who were put into the gifted program, versus 242 low income students who had scored superior on the 4th grade test. They were put on in the they were not placed into the gifted program, which they should have been. So back to the young girl who committed suicide, she was a straight A student. And if she needed gifted services, maybe gifted services could have avoided a disaster if she tested in that area. And basically, that's what I wanted to add. And I will, on certain issues, I will revisit it. I guess I could talk about my love life, which is why I did that. But I'm looking at myself. I'm like, you don't look that good on this video, so you don't want to revisit it. But, you know, I will revisit it a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not know why I use personal ads to meet people. Probably because I don't get out. I don't get out. I am like a hermit. And I've had several men chase me from store to store to get my phone number. I've been in Kroger, and the people who were there, who are still there when it happened, I've had men chase me around, run after me after I said no, asking for my phone number. The point is that when I'm making effort, or when I'm out over and over and over and over, I meet someone. However, you know, I am getting older. I want to say old, and I don't have anybody. And, you know, the point is that I spend a lot of time on the personal ads, which is a big waste of time when I don't have to. You know, I probably could go to the bar, but I don't know what I do at the bar by myself, all alone, to the club, to dance. But again, I'd be all alone. So, you know, I don't know why I keep using the personal ads. I have never had a long-term relationship from the personal ads. My son's father was a friend of the personal was the best friend of the guy that I met on the personal ads. And, you know, we comforted each other. My husband, I met him while volunteering. So, you know, my friend Jimmy, who I met on the bus, you know, I was like, Jimmy, you know, this was years ago, I keep using these personal ads, and I'm not meeting anybody. I'm having these bad experiences. And Jim goes, he says, well, don't you know, they're looking for a fantasy woman. You don't need to use those personal ads. And this was a long time ago, but I still continue to use them. You know, ultimately, I'm lazy. It has to be that I'm lazy. I'm too lazy to what? Go where? You know, I don't know where I'm supposed to go, you know, or maybe I'm just supposed to move, because in San Francisco, you know, I could walk down the street and meet people I liked, who liked me, and it would work. So maybe, you know, I need to consider relocating, because I'm lonely. I'm lonely. So I'm lonely. And as for that guy, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. You know, I don't know what to say. You know, I don't know what to say. People are different. You know, I live by the core, treat people the way you want to be treated. That's why, you know, if I meet somebody on a personal ads and I don't like them, I just tell them, well, you know, I don't want to go get a drink. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to continue on. So, people are different, you know. So anyway, I think that's the update that I needed to give you, was regarding my love life. So you got that. So thank you for listening. And I have a prior video that I made, and it's much longer, about the same subject, but I didn't like the way I looked in it. I probably won't like the way I look in this one either. But I will try to publish this, because I can't keep doing this over and over. So goodbye. I love you.